Imagine having everything you ever wanted: ambition, success, a life full of potential, only for it to all come crashing down because of one reckless decision. Sharaban's quest for revenge spiraled into an unimaginable tragedy that left an innocent woman dead and her own life destroyed. This case isn't just about betrayal, it's about how a single moment of irrational rage can turn into a nightmare you'll never wake up from. Don't miss out on the chilling details that reveal the horrifying lengths one person went to. Trust me, you'll want to stay until the end. The journey we're about to take you on is a twisted one, a case so horrifying, so baffling, that it reveals the dark depths to which an unchecked desire for revenge can drive a person. This is not just a story of betrayal, it's a tale that explores how ambition, manipulation, and a thirst for retribution can spiral into tragedy and chaos. The story of Sharaban, an immigrant from Iraq, offers a chilling lesson on how a plan that seemed flawless on paper can unravel in the most shocking of ways. But what made this case particularly heartbreaking was the innocent life that was lost in the pursuit of an irrational vendetta, a life destroyed by one person's reckless obsession. Sharaban's journey from Iraq to Germany. Born on April 30th, 1999, Sharaban came from humble beginnings. Raised in a traditional family in a small Iraqi village, her early years were steeped in strict religious values. But at the age of 6, her family moved to Germany, seeking a new life in the city of Ingolstadt. It was here that Sharaban's identity began to shift. The tension between her traditional upbringing and the modern, liberal world of Germany created a deep sense of internal conflict. As she grew older, Sharaban quickly embraced her new environment. She became strong-willed, independent, and unapologetically defiant. Her dreams were big, and her desire to break free from old norms was unshakable. She aspired to work in the beauty industry, watching countless makeup tutorials and dreaming of owning a cosmetics brand. But Sharaban's approach to life was often manipulative. Her emotional outbursts and ability to play the victim card ensured that she almost always got what she wanted, the relationship that sparked a downward spiral. At 15, Sharaban met Ruan, a young man from Iraq who had moved to Germany as a child. They connected immediately, and their relationship quickly became secretive. Both knew their families would never approve. But trouble soon arose when Sharaban's cousin threatened to blackmail her, using her relationship as leverage. Sharaban confronted her parents with the truth, and while the family was shocked, the cousin's power over her dissipated. Despite their parents' opposition, Sharaban and Ruan married when she turned 18, cutting ties with her family for over a year. They opened a small hair salon together, and things seemed promising, until the cracks began to show. Sharaban's jealousy and emotional volatility slowly turned their marriage toxic. Public fights, explosive arguments, and her constant accusations against Ruan left the relationship on the verge of collapse. Sharaban's descent into darkness. By 2020, the couple was on the brink of destruction. The pandemic, though it brought the world to a standstill, allowed Sharaban and Ruan a brief period of reconciliation. But things quickly took a turn for the worse once the lockdowns ended. Sharaban, newly emboldened by the freedom of owning her own car, began frequenting nightclubs and embarking on casual flings. One of these relationships turned serious, and Sharaban found herself pregnant by a man she intended to leave Ruan for. However, when her new partner, Jakob, rejected the idea of fatherhood, Sharaban was left heartbroken and isolated. It was then that Ruan's family pressured her to end the pregnancy, deepening her resentment not just towards her ex-husband, but also towards his family. This led to a violent confrontation in which Sharaban used a stun device on Ruan's brother and his wife. This act marked the beginning of her increasingly erratic behavior. The creation of a deadly scheme. Sharaban, now alone and filled with anger, devised an elaborate plan to exact her revenge on Ruan. In her mind, the only way to make him suffer was to fake her own death and frame him for her murder. But she needed someone to take her place, someone who looked enough like her to convince her family and the authorities. After scouring social media for weeks, Sharaban found the perfect target, Khadija, a 23-year-old waitress from Pakistan who shared similar physical features with her. Sharaban crafted a fake identity as a talent scout and contacted Khadija, offering her an audition for a music video. When Khadija became suspicious and blocked the profile, Sharaban didn't give up. She created a new fake identity, posing as a beauty salon owner, and invited Khadija to a complimentary beauty treatment session. The murder and deception. On August 16, 2022, Sharaban met Khadija and, with the help of her new boyfriend, Shia, lured her into a trap. They drove her to a secluded area, where Shia attacked her viciously, stabbing her over 50 times, targeting her face, neck, and chest with such brutality that Khadija's identity was destroyed beyond recognition. They placed Khadija's body in the backseat of Sharaban's car, hoping the scene would be convincing enough to frame Ruan for the murder. They left the car near Ruan's house, believing the location would tie him to the crime. But as Sharaban's parents discovered the vehicle, their worst fears were realized when they found the body and identified it as their daughter. What followed was a horrifying series of events that sent shockwaves through the town. The investigation and twist. When Sharaban's parents reported her missing, suspicion immediately fell on Ruan. However, when the authorities found his apartment abandoned, he became a prime suspect. But something didn't sit right with investigators. Despite the body being found in Sharaban's car, the face was so badly disfigured that identification was questionable. The breakthrough came when Khadija's coworker reported her missing. Upon further investigation, it was discovered that the body in the car was indeed Khadija's, not Sharaban's. DNA analysis confirmed the identity, and the true nature of Sharaban's plan was revealed. The reckless aftermath. The more investigators dug, the clearer it became that Sharaban and Shia had orchestrated the entire crime, hoping to cover their tracks by posting an online ad offering a large sum of money to anyone willing to carry out an attack. But after failing to recruit anyone, they decided to carry out the crime themselves, leaving behind a trail of evidence that would ultimately lead back to them. Sharaban's decision to stay in the same city, living her normal life as if nothing had happened, was a critical mistake. It wasn't long before she was spotted at a cafe and arrested, and her lies began to unravel. Both Sharaban and Shia, now facing life in prison, turned on each other, each blaming the other for masterminding the plot. The trial and consequences. The trial that followed stunned the country. Despite their meticulous planning, the couple failed to account for the inevitable flaws in their scheme. They had no long-term plan for survival, and their reckless behavior led to their eventual capture. In December 2024, both Sharaban and Shia were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the brutal murder of Khadija and their failed attempt to frame Ruan. This case serves as a stark reminder of how destructive unchecked emotions can be and the devastating consequences of revenge when it's fueled by irrationality and vengeance.